Hi guys, welcome back to Our Daddy's a Donor. We're your host, Riley.
And I'm Carly. And I'm drinking today because it's my only day off.
Riley's getting wild today.
I have this thing. I've
What's
never
that?
had it before. It's
Ooh,
like a
that looks
Corona
good.
sparkling water. All the beer
Nice.
boys, all the
I
beer
have
people.
snacks.
Look at us.
Snacks and
Would
water.
you ever
My
have thought it?
my arm was itchy, so now there's scratches on my arm.
Beautiful. What are we doing today?
You're gonna read because I don't like to.
We have our first listener story. Woo, woo, woo. Bow, bow, bow. Just kidding.
Oh, we should put that in.
No, just our voices. Bow, bow,
Oh,
bow. I think
I
it's
like
better.
it.
More unique. So
I like
yes,
it a
we have
lot.
not only do we have our first listener story, it's a double listener story, aka two sisters that found each other and both sent their story in. So we get two views. What's the word I want?
Perspective.
There you go.
Yes.
Two perspectives. And I think she found us on Instagram. Or we posted somewhere. I don't even know anymore. Everyone. So many
We're
people.
just
It's so
too
exciting.
cool.
And we
We're way
got
too
some
cool.
fan mail.
Yeah.
We're not going to read it here, but we read it together and it was very cute. And I have to reach out to the person still. I'll reach out before this comes out, but they're from Ontario and they sent me some snail mail. They hand wrote it and it was super sweet. So
It's cute.
if you want to send us any more, I mean, you can email us or we can give you some type of address, not my home address. This person found my work address, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But
I want presents. People need to send us some presents.
yeah, you need your daddy hat. I'm not wearing it today, but it's fine.
It's fine.
So this lady is okay to be mentioned. So her name is Stephanie. We will not be using last names. And some names in the story will be different. But so far, Stephanie is she reached out first. And then her sister reached out as well. So
Perfect.
I will dive into her story.
Okay.
So she emailed this to me or to us. Hee. So I decided to. Ow. I just ran into my mic.
You just get concussed. Are you okay?
Yeah, I gotta go. Bye.
See
Just
ya.
kidding. Okay, let's try this again. I decided to take an ancestry DNA just for fun. I had a few friends who had done them and it seemed interesting, so why not? I chose ancestry DNA, and in the late summer of 2019, I got my results. The results were mostly unremarkable, except there were two names listed as close relations that I did not recognize. At first, I just kind of assumed they were distant cousins, but then I realized that wasn't possible. Looking at my first cousin, who also showed on the list, we shared 13% of our DNA, but I shared 25% with those two mystery people. Considering I was an only child and knew all of my immediate family, something weird was going on here. I started asking questions of my mom, but she shrugged it off, saying she didn't know who they were or how they could be related. It must be a mistake. So I reached out to the two people, saying I was working on my family tree and trying to figure out our relationship. To my surprise, we didn't seem to have any shared family, but they both had something unusual in common. Their mothers had them by sperm donor, and we had all been born in the same area. That couldn't just be a coincidence, could it? I began to chat more with one of them, a girl a few years younger than me. She had been looking for family, specifically her father, for a long time. I knew the connection had to be paternal because neither of them shared any DNA with my first cousin on my mom's side. I wondered if maybe my dad had donated to a fertility clinic. It was totally feasible. At the time, my parents were newlyweds with not much money, and my dad worked in the area of the fertility clinic. Again, I probed my mom for info, but she claimed she didn't know anything, that my dad had never done such a thing. In November, we decided to do another DNA test, this time through 23andMe, to see if that could clarify things. And on January 1st, 2020, this is weirdly the same timeline as me. It's weirding me out. I feel like I wrote this.
Weird.
To see if it could clarify things. And on January 1st, 2020, I was not prepared for the year 2020 was going to be. I got an email telling me my father and 9 of my siblings were also on 23andMe. Now there's a big problem. There's a big problem with that bit of info. My dad had passed away, and this is weirding me out. My dad had passed away in 1995, long before DNA tests were a thing. A couple of days later, my close relation got her results, and it was official. We were half sisters. I was both elated to have a sister. She and I had become close over the past few months, but also gutted. Never had there been any hint that my dad wasn't my biological father. I had my dad's blue eyes. People commented on our resemblance, but then I guess you see what you want to see. I spent days staring in the bathroom mirror at myself, thinking, who the hell are you? Learning this somehow changed both nothing and everything in my life. It was a lot to try and deal with. Yet again, I had questions for my mom, and this time I did it by email. We have always had a difficult relationship, and when she feels cornered about something, she will refuse to discuss it. I did not want that to happen because she was the only person who could provide me with any answers. I presented the information I had found and asked her to explain it, asking for her honesty. It took her 3 days, and she underlined 3 days. But she responded and said it was true. My dad was not my biological father. My dad had cystic fibrosis, a genetic disease that affected the lungs, and he passed away from complications of it in 1995. CF also caused close to 98% infertility in men who have it, so when my parents found out they could not have children, they decided to go with a donor. They had told no one of their decision, and they had apparently intended for no one to ever find out. Well, I guess I threw a wrench in that, didn't I? Once the dust settled, I reached out to my biological father via email. The interaction was friendly but formal. He was a donor when he was in university, and he is now retired with a family of his own who do not know about any of this. He was happy to answer questions about health and family history, but it was clear that was as far as it went. I respect that, but I hope he has a backup plan already. Oh, ready. It may not be up to him whether his children find out. I also reached out to all the siblings if they wish to connect. Everyone handles the situation differently, and I'm here if they need support. Oh my gosh. So there are 14 of us, 10 of us through the fertility clinic, and 4 of his own children. Who knows how many others there are out there, as they have not popped up on the DNA radar. A handful of us have chatted, and there are some plans to meet up at some point, but as we are far flung around the States and Canada, it may be difficult too. My sister and I had planned to meet up in May 2020, but obviously that got put on hold with the pandemic. We are working on meeting up soon. This is so weird, eh?
This is literally exactly what
This
happened to
is
us.
so weird. I think she's just like a little bit older than us, just talking about the 1995 timeline, but maybe only like a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, it has been a hell of an emotional roller coaster, as strained my relationship with my mom. She has a lot of unresolved emotions about it, and she ambushes me with them from time to time. A lot of accusatory questions like, what were you looking for, and why did you really do it? I am glad I was an adult when I found all this out, because I can recognize her lashing out instead of me internalizing her misplaced anger and guilt. It would have been a very different story if this all happened when I was younger. That said, I am definitely angry, but that this was kept from me. It feels like they made decisions about my life without giving me any input or choice in the matter. It has also changed my relationship with my dad. His death 27 years ago was traumatic. I was much closer with him than my mom, and I had to deal with it on my own. To find all this out now and to see my mom's feelings of shame and anger breaks my heart all over again, to think he died feeling the same things. Aw. And there is nothing I can do about it. I can't tell him that. None of it changes the fact that he's my dad. I'm having to grieve losing him all over again, only it's worse this time around. On the other hand, it's been very incredible getting to know my half siblings. They are generally an awesome group of people. I guess we come from good stock. Growing up an only child for 45 years. Okay, she's 45. Then suddenly having siblings to get to know as adults is a very weird experience, but I have enjoyed it. It amazes it's amazing seeing the unexpected things we have in common, political beliefs, hobbies, etc. And I love seeing their pictures on social media and looking for our similarities. It has also been surprising how many of our stories are on how we found out about our biological father. It speaks to how different the feelings were about fertility treatment back then compared to how they are now. Most of the siblings seem to have handled it well, and I hope the parents are able to make peace with it all eventually as well. I grew up firmly believing in chosen family, and this group of siblings feels a little like a chosen family who I also happen to share DNA with. I am thankful to have found them. I almost cried. I
Aww.
don't know if you can hear me like tearing up. I'm like, oh my god.
That's so
I'm
cute.
taking a drink.
Okay. Isn't that crazy how all of the
Yeah. Yeah, I
which
spilled all over me.
all
It's
of
fine.
the donor people we've talked about, even Emily, came from a university, like the donor guys.
Yeah, like it's like they were really targeting um, people in school, eh? They're like, oh, you're smart. Get over
Yeah.
here. So, I mean, like, I guess that's a good thing. I mean, at the same time, they're so young, right? Like, do they
Mm-hmm.
really know? Like we said last week, not that, like I said, I don't want to call us consequences, but do they really know what they're setting themselves up for in life? You know?
Probably not.
And I mean, she's older than we are, so she's 45 now. So it was probably even more like not monitored back then because that's
Oh yeah,
17 years older than me, right? So yeah,
that's
that's
a lot
crazy.
of siblings too. Jesus, what
I
that was that?
know.
Like 14?
There's 10 donor siblings, there's 10 diblings, and 4 that like grew up together that are the donor's kids. So it'd be like our donors one if he
Mm,
had kids.
yeah.
Um
Wow.
I'm trying to see what else like da, 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 da. It kind of like her talking about like her and her mom don't have like the closest relationship. Like I would say me and my mom are a little bit closer than like she's explaining. However, like
Hmm.
I definitely think my mom needs time before she talks about anything. She can't be put on the spot or like she gets very emotional. And I mean, I do
Hmm.
too. But I don't like seeing my mom emotional. It just makes me want to like revert back. So I feel like we probably haven't talked about it as much as we should. I don't know.
Hmm.
But I wasn't as close with my dad as this girl seems to have been. So
Yeah,
I feel bad for her that she didn't get to like talk about it with him.
I know.
I mean, I hope he didn't die like shameful or anything like that.
No, I don't think so.
What else was there? So the oh, and then like her this part was weird where she thought her dad was the donor and literally was
Hmm.
like at the time my parents were newlyweds with not much money and my dad worked in the area of the fertility clinic. I literally said to you at one point like my dad was not good with money or he just didn't
Yeah.
have a lot of it or whatever, and I was like I can see him like if it was a and I don't know if you pay for it in Canada or you get paid for it in Canada, but I was like if there was a way to make extra money he might have done it, you know. So that's
Hmm.
funny that she thought literally the exact same thing. Like it's so weird.
We
Um,
literally thought of every kind of scenario, like under the sun, too.
yeah. So it seems like she did the exact same thing. She's just like older than
Hmm.
us, but basically it's the same story.
Yeah.
And then like this timeline is so weird. Like 2019 is when she, I think, did her
Hmm.
test, and then 2020 is when it like all kind of. And they were supposed to. They literally had the same hangout timeline. May of 2020. We were supposed to hang out
Yeah.
April 2020. And
Yeah.
then January 2020 is when I found out, and that's when she found out.
Hmm.
Like, this is spooky, spooky.
That's weird. Spoopy.
Mm-mm-mm. I'm taking a drink.
Ooh, I have water, and it's leaking all over the place because there's ice in it.
Cool.
I was eating snacks, so for anybody listening, oh,
Sorry.
Carly's dying. For anybody listening, you got to go over to the YouTubes to see my snacks.
Probably Cheez-Its.
No, they're these today. The sour candy.
Oh, bring me some of those.
They're okay. Look at. Oh, you don't have these?
I don't think so. Ours are different.
Oh, oh, I buy these like by the case on Amazon, like a bulk
Oh,
box.
ours are like a rainbow. You had them when you were here, remember?
Oh, oh yeah, those are good. I think we kind of have something like that here.
Mmm.
Yeah, I gotta bring. Oh, I have to stock up on my snacks that I'm bringing.
Oh, frick yeah, buddy. Bring me some snackies.
Oh.
I was gonna say something else, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, I realized we never, and I feel like we've talked about it, but not directly talked about it. When she was like, unexpected things we have in common, she said political beliefs. We never talked about our political
Mm.
beliefs. Not that we'll make this political, but
Mm-hmm.
I think ours are pretty much aligned the same, which is funny. Because, like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, is Minnesota a very, like, I don't, are they like a left or a right wing state? Do you know?
I have no idea.
That's fine.
I should probably Google it. I don't know. I don't really. It's probably really bad, but I don't like pay attention to
Oh,
that
I don't
stuff.
either, but it's just funny because I feel like in my head, Minnesota is very conservative, but maybe it's not. So it's just funny. I mean, I'm basically laying out what we are right now, but I think it's just funny that we don't have completely opposite views. Um, Especially like, I feel like the US is so political. It
Mm-hmm.
just, but I mean, I'm seeing it from a Canadian perspective, right? So a lot of the news that I see is political, um, or just like
Yeah.
sad.
I'm trying to like read this. I have no clue what's going on. No, I'm gonna get roasted because I have no idea.
That's okay. Who cares?
Politics and voting in Minnesota. I don't know. It says it's a democratic state.
Oh,
That's all I'm getting.
I don't. Let's not make this political because I don't know enough about anything to say anything.
Me neither.
Okay, are you ready for the sister's story? So
Yeah.
the first sister's name was Stephanie. So Stephanie told her sister Mary that she was going to be sharing her story, and Mary was like, I want to share my story. So Mary wrote in
Mm-hmm.
as well. Mary's isn't as long, but that's okay because like we kind of get some of it from Stephanie's anyways. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so some of the names in here have been changed for the rest of their siblings' identities, and obviously we're not using any last names. But if they want to be shouted out, we will totally shout them out. And maybe we'll have them on in a couple months just to like check in. That would be fun. And we'd have four
That'd be
people
fun,
on.
yeah.
That would be fun.
Holy moly.
So this is what Mary had to say.
Ooh.
And I haven't read these, by the way. I read like up the first paragraph and then that was it. So
You
that's,
read very well for not
oh,
reading it
thank
through.
you. That's why I almost started crying for the other one when she was talking about her
Oh.
dad. I was like, same girl. I'm gonna start crying. I'm
Oh.
always so nervous that like one of these stories is just gonna make me like hysterical, and I'm just gonna start because I hate crying in front of people. I just
Really?
hate it. I need to like stop being such a like so embarrassed about crying. I just like I'm so
Mm-hmm.
embarrassed, and I cry all the time. That's the worst part.
Do
Oh,
you?
like just
I've never seen you
I
cry.
know. But you saw me almost
Hmm.
cry when I had that panic attack.
Yeah, when I was, and then you left. You didn't want me to see you
But that, I
cry. You
literally, I
turned
also
around.
literally had a full on panic attack. So I'll just share. I don't think I've told
When I,
any, like, I don't think I told my friends this. Yeah, when Riley came to visit, my brother was here and he was talking about something and it got me like emotional and it like just brought things up. And I was like, I had to remove myself. And then I had a legit panic attack. Like, I was like freaking out in my closet. I was trying to find my, remember?
oh,
I was trying to find, I think I just went to bed after. Look at my face is getting so
oh,
red. I'm so embarrassed now.
I was talking about when I was
No,
leaving.
no, it wasn't that.
I totally forgot
No,
about
no.
that.
Oh, no, no. Oh, did I cry then when you were leaving?
Well, no, but you said you were
Oh
almost
yeah.
going to,
See, I don't like to cry.
and then you turned
Yeah. So
around.
I
Yeah, I
I
did that too.
basically like blacked out, and this is I've never had a panic before, so it's like I hope my brother doesn't listen to this and think like, oh my god, I set her off. But um, I used to have inhalers. And so
Mm.
I thought I still had one, like an old one, and I tore my closet apart looking for it. But I like blacked out. Like I
Oh
was like out
no.
of body experience. Like it was wild. And it was like I don't even know how long it was. It felt like it was in hours, but it was probably only like 5 minutes. And then I just passed out. I was like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going back downstairs. And then we all just ignored it the next day. We were like, that didn't
Yeah,
happen. I was like, if anybody says anything,
I didn't
I'm gonna
really know what
fight.
was going on. I was like,
Oh, I never had a panic attack before, so I was just like embarrassed. I've had like anxiety where it like build up kind of thing,
mm-hmm.
like but nothing where I was like
Yeah,
I literally couldn't control myself. Like it was the scariest thing ever. So, oh, I heard it.
those are
I heard a
scary. Oh,
kitty.
oh my God, she's back.
She's been in
Hello.
every episode. She knows. She's like, I'm gonna be famous.
I'm gonna be famous. Here she is.
I want to be
Hello.
famous. Do you remember that vine?
Ooh.
That little girl. I want
Yeah.
to be famous.
I think she just wants my snacks.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if I ever start crying, we might have to pause, or I'm just gonna have to like don't look at me, I'm crying situation.
Yeah.
So let's hope this one doesn't make me cry either, because I was almost there. I
Oh
gotta burp
gosh.
again. I shouldn't have had a drink.
Oh gosh. I have bubblers sometimes, and those make me burp bad. I wish you had those there. Those are good too.
We have bubbly, buble.
Bubbler. Oh yeah, that guy.
You can try it. All right,
Okay.
ready? This is Mary.
Ready. Okay.
I almost said her full name by accident. It's just like it flows really nicely. Okay.
Mm.
Ugh. All my life, I struggled with not knowing my heritage. I am the daughter of a Black woman, and I never knew who my dad was, but my light skin, curly hair, and freckles made clear that I am of mixed heritage. Heritage. When I was about 6 or so, Barbara, the woman who gave birth to me, married a white man who she said was my father. I was highly suspicious of this as I got older, since he was 16 years her junior, and I remember when he first became a part of our lives. They were both severely abusive, and as a result, I went into foster care at the age of 9. I almost started crying already. I
Stop.
literally said, I hope this isn't me crying. Here I am. The caseworkers and lawyers were sympathetic to my pleas regarding my heritage and pressed Barbara for details. She gave 3 different stories over the years. I was the
Hmm.
product of an affair with an Italian police officer who died in the line of duty while she was pregnant with me. That's story number 1 that Barbara gave. Story
Hmm.
number 2, I was from a sperm bank. And story number 3, her much younger husband was my father. He would have been 15 when I was born. She was 31.
Oh,
So that doesn't seem very plausible.
no.
The state workers tried to get them to prove that her husband was my father by asking and then attempting to force them to take a DNA test. Those efforts were unsuccessful. So I went on in life always feeling the very unique sadness that came along with not knowing who I was. I would get so frustrated with not knowing that when people from different races would ask me if I was Mexican, Hawaiian, Puerto Rican, white, etc., I would just agree. Oh, that's so sad. I became whoever people thought I was because I was so tired of explaining that I just didn't know. What's that
Hmm.
sound? Do you hear a sound?
No.
I think it was a text coming in. You remember when like old things used to do that?
Oh, like the internet would be like, "Whoop, whoop, whoop,
Yeah,
whoop."
I'm turning that on airplane mode. That was weird. I'm going to read that last
Weird.
sentence again.
Okay.
I
I
didn't
didn't
get a
hear any of
text,
that.
but my mom's texting me. What does she want? Um, sorry. It
It's
stopped.
okay.
That was weird. I'm just going to turn. It was like I got an
Hmm.
Instagram notification and I heard like weird noises. Okay. I'm just going to read that whole little paragraph. So I went on in life always feeling the very unique sadness that came along with not knowing who I was. I would get so frustrated with not knowing that when people from different races would ask me if I was Mexican, Hawaiian, Puerto Rican, white, etc., I would just agree. I became whoever people thought I was because I was so tired of explaining that I just didn't know. When Ancestry DNA penetrated the, oh my God, I can't say this word, Zeitgeist. Oh my God, I sound like an idiot.
I have no clue.
Zeit. I'm looking it up. Zeitgeist. How to say? I sound so dumb. How to say? Zeitgeist.
Huh.
It means the general intellectual, moral, and cultural climate of an era. So basically,
Ah.
when it became a thing.
Ah.
Zeitgeist. I lost where I was. When Ancestry DNA penetrated the zeitgeist, I wondered for a long time if I should submit to learn about my background. I didn't know much about it, so I let it roll around in the back of my mind for a while, but I saw a commercial around Thanksgiving 2018 that focuses specifically on discovering one's heritage, and I was sold. I will never forget the day that my results came back showing that I was mixed with African and European heritage. Just the knowledge that my abuser was not my father, he was half Native American, and I have no Native American DNA, was so amazing, and I thought that I had gotten all I needed out of the DNA submission. Boy, was I wrong. Soon after I got my results, I was contacted through Ancestry DNA's app by a man I will call Roy. He said he thought we may be siblings based upon the DNA matches. He told me that he had found out recently that the man he had always known as his father was not his bio dad, but that he had come from a donor. This jived with one of the stories that Barbara told me, but I gotta tell you, I was super skeptical. Still not knowing how this DNA stuff was working, I needed to confirmation, so I paid for us to have a sibling DNA test that his bio mom was nice enough to give a sample for. Wow, that's nice of her to pay for that.
Right.
While we waited for the results, we threw ourselves into getting to know each other and the research every detail that his mom could provide. No luck. The DNA results came back as inconclusive, and Roy and I quickly lost touch. Oh, that's sad.
Hmm.
Months later, I got another email from a woman I will call. She put Carly, but it's Stephanie. She told us we could use her name, and I just laughed that she used my name.
That's funny.
She also said that she thought we may be siblings. After hearing about me and Roy, we believe that her dad may have been our donor. She even sent me a photo of him, and I remember looking at it over and over again, thinking he was the one. I can't remember why, but we decided together to submit to 23andMe. She got her results back, and we both got the biggest shock of our entire lives. Not only were there 9 other siblings on there, but so was our donor. I was elated and floating on a cloud because now I had the knowledge of who my father was, something that I had convinced myself would never be known. I am pretty sure that I am the only one who experienced these feelings of joy. Most of the siblings I have connected with, including Stephanie, were experiencing huge upheavals to the family they had known. I felt a bit bad about that, but the knowledge and burgeoning relationship I was cultivating with Stephanie was too joyful to be dampened. Stephanie and I communicated often. I am still amazed at this many similarities we have. She's the one oh my god, I can't speak. She is one of the most caring and thoughtful people I haven't quite met. They still haven't met. We are going to meet
Aw.
prior to the Rona unleashing upon the globe, but we are planning something in the near future. I've also had some conversations with others, and there has been talk of a meetup, but we will still see what happens there. My donor is cold but willing to answer questions, and I cannot lie, I wish he was open to more. I never had a father, and I kind of want one. At the end of the day, though, I'm so happy that I know who he is, and I love that he has brought Stephanie into my life. She is a gift. I'm going to start
I
crying.
got goosebumps. Stop it. That was so
I need a
cute.
minute. I'm crying.
Please hold.
Please hold while I pull my eyes out. Look at it. Can you see? I'm
Yeah. Oh,
sniffly.
stop
I'm
it.
sorry. She's so sweet.
That was so cute.
Okay, I need to calm down. I told you I wasn't going to cry at
Mm.
all, and here I am. It's fine.
Oh
They're
my
they're
god.
good tears. They're good tears. I feel so bad that their donor is like shitty. Like I know you
I
can,
know.
and they said this was in, um, there. Well, Stephanie is 45, so quick maths. The
Yeah.
70s, I think 70s, 80s,
Sure.
something like that. I think it's the 70s. You can never even fathom that there's going to be. There wasn't even computers like
No.
internet, Google, none of that BS. You
Mm-mm.
can't even
No.
fathom that you're gonna, donate some sperm and these people are gonna find you. However, he did
Mm-hmm.
do the DNA test from the sounds of it. So he went on there.
Mm-hmm.
So like he
Yeah.
wasn't trying to hide. So it just makes me so sad when like they didn't grow up with like Emily, she didn't grow up with a dad and she doesn't seem like
Mm-hmm.
bitter about that, but it's like you want that connection, and she was
Yeah.
kind of like robbed of it more so in the fact like um her mom didn't really tell her what was going on and she couldn't accept it and it was like well you'll find out when you're 18 like
Yeah.
just explain it like it sucks that
Mm-hmm.
are that they're robbed of that and like I mean I'm just happy that we got to do like DNA testing because like I mean we didn't get to grow up together but at least we still get a future like we're both really young so we're not
Mm-hmm.
robbed of it, but she's 45 and I don't know how old Mary is, but probably around I would assume the same age. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's not quite half their lives, but like
I'm sure they have kids
for
too. And
yeah,
then
maybe and forever just to get answers. Like it's just such
mm-hmm.
a tough dynamic because like the whole point of it is for your parents to have kids, but then it's like you're connecting so many families. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
it's hard.
Yeah. That's like ours. I'm just glad we found out not at
Oh my
45.
god, I know. I think that would have I don't know. I feel like we were at a perfect age to find out.
Yeah. Because I feel like once you're older, it's not like it's too late, but it's just like, cool.
Well, and like we still get to like hit all those milestones together. Like I'm not married, you're not
Mm-hmm.
married, so like those are things that we can be involved in and
Mm-hmm.
um we're not settled yet, I guess if that makes sense. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not tied down somewhere if that makes sense. We
Mm-hmm.
still have so much like growing to do and adulting to do that
Mm-hmm.
like we both get to be a part of. Whereas like if I had kids or something, like it makes it a lot harder just to do anything. And I feel like if
Mm-hmm.
either one of us had kids, we might have been more like reserved too. Because that's like a
Yeah.
whole other like can of worms that you're opening. Like here's your aunt.
Right? How awkward.
Yeah. I got the hiccups.
Uh oh.
I don't know anything.
That was so cute.
Yeah,
I like them.
it sucks also that like her mom gave her just like a bunch of random stories. She was just like,
I
"It's
know.
this. Oh, it's this." Just kidding. It's
Yeah. It's
this.
just like, just tell her.
Yeah,
I mean, you're only hurting the kid at that point. Like, the longer you wait.
yeah. It's hard. I'm jealous of all these people
Yeah.
finding brothers though.
I know. What's happening with that? I feel like girls are more likely to do that kind of stuff, though. Like the DNA
That's
test.
true.
Because there are a lot of girls on there.
That's like I met someone, and I won't say their name, and they probably won't even listen to this, but I just met them like in the last little bit, and he's adopted, and he's got two dads. And I asked him if he was going to do any of the DNA testing. And he's like, I don't really care to find like them. So like
Yeah, see? Guys don't
they don't
care.
care. And then like my really good friend, David, he's from the States, and he said his roommate is a sperm donor baby, and he doesn't care to like
Mm-hmm.
he did the DNA testing, I think, but and he met some siblings, but he just like is not. I don't know how old he is. If it's like maybe he's not emotionally mature there yet or what, but
Mm, yeah.
he said like he doesn't want that relationship with some of the siblings yet or ever. I don't know. Maybe it'll change. So boys are just like too cool for emotions. Just kidding.
No, they are. Ugh, I don't know what I would have done. I always felt like something was a little off. I was like, there's no way I can be an only child.
There's
There's no
no
way.
way.
I didn't want to accept it, and look at me now.
Would you just look at you?
Would you look at
Look at
me?
her. Well,
I got a whole bunch of them.
well, I guess if people are listening to this, lots of people, if you want us to bring Mary and Steph on, let us know, and maybe we'll have them in,
Yeah.
maybe in like October.
Mm-hmm.
We could do a spoopy one, a spoopy episode.
We could all wear Halloween
Oh, I'm gonna be
costumes.
wearing a Halloween costume every episode in Halloween. October is now called
In Halloween.
Halloween. 100%
I wonder how many weeks are there? Like, how many Mondays?
like a countdown episode to Halloween.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Halloween's on a Monday, too. There's
Oh
5.
shit!
There's 5 Mondays we can dress up for. That's 5 different
That's
costumes.
the most amazing news I've ever heard.
But it's not like we can have like extravagant costumes since you can see from like here
We
up.
can like do a photo and post it on Instagram.
That's true. We could do we could like paint our
I'm gonna
faces
be,
different.
I'm gonna be sperm. I'm just kidding.
Ooh,
I'm just,
that's an
I'm
interesting
just
one.
kidding. I'm just kidding. I can
How many more days until I come? Is it like
9.
9?
Jinx.
This is the last episode that we're recording until I'm in
Yeah,
Canada.
this was
So the next one will be in
This was a
person.
short one because last week was so long. It just actually uploaded
Mm-hmm.
44 minutes ago. I haven't looked at it.
Whoa! I haven't even looked at it either.
Ew. So, just because we have a little bit more time, there is this website called Donor Sibling Registry. And basically, you can like register your donor number, but you can also browse by clinic. So, I mentioned in last week's episode, this is how we found my mom's clinic because she couldn't remember for the life of her what her clinic was. So I literally just like found the doctor's name. Like it was super weird. I just typed in like
Mm-hmm.
general area of where, and it's Burlington. So I just typed in like Burlington, and there was like a couple different ones, and I just like did some real deep digging, and I was like, "Is this a doctor?" And then I was like, "This doesn't seem hopeful, but I'm just gonna send it to her." And she's like, "Yeah, that's him." It's like, this is so weird.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
So,
My mom's doctor wasn't even on there.
oh,
Couldn't find
really?
it. Maybe I did something wrong. I don't
I'm
know.
sure if you put the donor number in, we should do that. Put the donor number in when we're done here. I'm sure if you put that
Yeah.
in, it would probably put like maybe it would put like the clinics that he was at. Maybe we could trace that somehow.
Mm.
But anyways, this story.
Ooh.
So Wendy is the one who runs this website. Her name's Wendy. She said we could use any of the stories as long as we just obviously mention her.
Hmm.
So this, well, not her, but the the website. Anyways,
Yeah.
this one was posted September 14th, 2016, and like some of the stories go
Oh,
back to the early 2000s. I think like they go back pretty far. So
holy
this one's
crap.
not too long, but I think it seems like a nice happy one that we can end on. Um,
Yay.
in 1991, I purchased sperm from a bank on the West Coast. I tried for 9 months to get pregnant by this donor. Finally, my doctor said the quality of the samples from the West Coast bank his lab was receiving were not good and suggested I try using the bank next door to his office. He didn't tell me he was a half owner in the bank. So I went to the genetic counselor in the doctor's office. We selected a different donor. I wrote down the number and we were off to the races. On June 16th, 1992, I got pregnant by this new donor. I was happy but sad because this donor was anonymous. I forgot about being unhappy when my daughter was born and didn't really think about it except at the rare times when my daughter wanted to discuss it. In 2006, we joined the DSR, which is this donor sibling registry, and waited and waited. In 2015, she got a match with the number I was given, but then DNA told a different story. Then the girl she matched numbers with got a DNA match, and that person was also from the new donor number I had been given. So now we knew the donor number I requested and was told I had been given was not the donor used for insemination. But who was? That's
Ooh.
crazy. By now, my daughter had DNA tested with three of the four big labs. This time she used the biggest, and in September of 2016 got a half sibling match. But that matches posting on the DSR had an old email, so Wendy, who runs this, sent them snail mail and made a special effort to get us in touch. Not only did the girls resemble each other, they matched via DNA, and this new match had a donor number listed on the DSR. After almost 10 years, lots of legal wrangling with the labs, more heartache than I can say, and a lot of unplanned expenses, my daughter saw a picture of her first blood relative from her donor side, someone who looked like her. None of this, oh, that sounded weird. Someone who looked like her. None of this would have happened without Wendy and Ryan's magical invention. Gratitude barely covers it. So it's a nice little success
Aw.
story, but also like, what the
I
hell?
like that.
The like,
Yeah, so she was given a different number than the one that
like
they
multiple
used.
times. Like this is
Ooh. How'd she figure out the actual number?
I think they did the DNA testing. Or no, yeah, she did DNA testing and like some actual lab testing. And I guess
Oh.
that like with it, I don't know. But she got a match
Huh.
like through the DSR. So that's like
Hmm.
it's just crazy that this shit isn't monitored. I cannot.
I know, it's really not.
Makes me sad. It also makes me scared. Like,
Yeah. I don't like that.
how do you know there's no one in your town? Because
Hmm.
like you're the only person we found in the US so far, but there could be more.
Oh, there for sure is. I'm the youngest one
And
too. So,
we're saying that a lot, like there could be brothers, but they're not registering. What if they're from there? Like, what
hmm.
if you know someone? Like, that's a possibility, right?
Well,
So
yeah.
it's scary. You almost have to ask
Hmm.
people, like, when you're dating, by the way, like, are you adopted or are you a donor
Oh my
baby?
gosh, did I ever tell you before my mom told me me and I won't say his name, but you know his name. My guy friend. We back in the day, people used to say that we always like looked alike because of like our freckles and our blonde hair, and we're both short. And then my mom was like, "Have you seen his dad? You know what his dad looks like?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know what his dad looks like. Why?" She was being creepy,
Um,
and I didn't even. This was before she
oh
told
my
me.
God.
I know. We kind of do look like a little bit alike, but I think that's just because we've been friends for so long.
But you also look like
But
Brianna, so
yeah, which is
everyone in your
weird.
town is just
People
the same.
always say,
I feel like you and Brianna look more like than me and you look alike. I
"You
don't know. You guys
think?"
look like sisters. I feel like she just has like a rounder face. Like she's
Yeah.
got like cute cheeks.
People always say that we look alike. I can see it in some
But you're
pictures,
also just like
but
blonde and white. So
yeah, it's true. We did just get a question from
ooh,
Snapchat.
finally.
Ooh, okay. It said, "Did your moms talk to each other yet?" I
Mm,
don't think they have.
I don't think so.
That's odd.
I'm trying to think. Did you FaceTime your mom at all when you were down here? or up here?
I don't think so. I think
What
I
are we
just texted
doing?
her. Hmm. I mean, I don't know. Do you think since I don't know? Cause see, my mom would probably, because she tells everybody the story, but your mom hasn't even gone into like detail about the story to you, so I don't think she would do it to my
No,
mom.
but I'm sure my mom would like to meet her. My mom literally said,
Mm-hmm.
like, when are you going to visit Riley? And I'm like, no money, man. And then my mom was like, well, when you go, like, I'll come with you. And I'm like, okay. Do you remember that? She said she'd come.
No, I didn't know she said she'd
Hmm.
come. Wait,
Yeah.
that's so
So, I
fun.
mean, they can FaceTime and then maybe they can, like, meet in real life.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know when I'd want you to come because you probably don't want to come in the wintertime.
I mean, it's better for me, like, work wise. I would have come already if I was still working at
Ooh.
my old job. Because remember, I was just going to, like, come and, like, work from home at your.
You were gonna come in
And then I was
July,
like,
yeah.
just kidding. I got a new job. Bye. It'll
I know. I want you to come for the 4th of July
be
here
fun.
because I live in northern Minnesota. And if you know where I live, there's lots of fun things happening for the 4th of July.
I'll come if my work schedule is fine. But I'll probably drive to you, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's only
really?
what, 16
Okay.
hours? I can do that in a day. I've done it.
You're insane. It's around the lake, though, right?
Yeah, I can either go up or down. If I go through Columbus, I think it's like 16 hours. I don't know. I said Columbus, Ohio. Columbus is the only Ohio place I know,
Mm.
apparently.
Columbus,
I'm trying to think of
specifically.
any or any Ohio. It, I literally
Any
can't think of
Ohio?
any more Ohio cities right now.
Um,
It's because my friend lives
mhm.
there. So if he ever listens, he'll know I'm talking about him.
Oh, but I mean, I mean, if you want to come in the winter, you can, but it gets very, very
Well, I definitely wouldn't
cold.
drive if it was the winter, but anyways. Oh my god, it's doing the sound again. What the
Yeah,
heck? I could hear
what sound?
like
Oh,
buzzing.
maybe it's mine. I don't think
No,
so.
I feel like
No,
I
mine
mean
didn't
mine
do
isn't doing
anything.
anything either, but okay, whatevs. That was a good question. Thank you, listener. I don't know if you're listening, but they have to be if they want to
Yeah.
hear it. Message them back and be
Right?
like, "We
Yeah.
just answered it in the podcast. You'll have to listen on Monday or Tuesday. It'll be Tuesday now.
Okay. Yeah. It was one of the Snapchat ones where it like
Yeah,
comes through
next Tuesday.
anonymously.
So yeah, post it back and be like, we
Mm,
just answered this in the podcast that we just are posting on Tuesday. All right.
yeah. Oh yeah, we are
Yeah, I
posting on
did mention
Tuesday
it in
now.
the last one. So
Oh yeah. Okay.
sweet, sweet,
I'll
sweet,
have
sweet,
to
sweet, sweet,
remember
sweet.
that.
Okay. Well,
Awesome.
let's blow this popsicle stand. I'm tired and ready for
Let's do
bed.
it.
A mess. Oh, I
Carly needs
forgot
a
I have to
nap.
like do so much tomorrow. Okay, cool. Love my life.
Bye.
Bye.